Did you know, according to a 2023 report by the World Health Organization, WHO, only about 5% of people over the age of 85 can still get out of bed independently each morning, walk without assistance, and live a life filled with meaning and vitality. In contrast, more than 70%, even those who were once healthy and vibrant, gradually fade away in silence, not because of a sudden illness, not because of a tragic accident, but because of small, invisible changes that neither they nor their loved ones noticed in time. A harsh reality: we do not grow old overnight, or in a month, or even a year. We are worn down slowly, bit by bit. A habit lost, a light dimming in the eyes. A hesitant step, a morning without a reason to rise. And one day, we wake up and realize we are no longer ourselves. Let me ask you, sincerely, will you choose to keep living fully beyond 80? Or will you quietly fade away without even realizing it? If your heart trembled even a little reading those words, if you feel even a tiny flame of desire to change, please stay with me. Today, I, Dr. Hoshino Daisuke, will walk alongside you, identifying 5 silent enemies that erode life and spirit after 80, and how to fight back with small but powerful steps, starting today. A sincere promise: I will not promise you a magic formula to live to 120, but I do promise to share with you real, scientifically grounded truths. And most importantly, truths you can begin applying right now. Because living long is not magic. Living long and well is a deliberate journey, built day by day, moment by moment. A simple image: imagine your body as a small garden. If you tend to it daily, watering, weeding, gently fertilizing, it thrives through all seasons. If you neglect it, even just a day, a week, decay begins to creep in quietly. You won't notice it immediately, but by the time you do, it may be too late. Your body, your spirit, is just like that garden. A true story: a few years ago, I met Mrs. Sato, 81 years old. She had once been lively, an active member of her community. But after losing her beloved husband, she began staying indoors more, avoiding phone calls, skipping her afternoon walks. When she came to me, her medical tests showed no alarming issues. But one look at her lost gaze, and I knew. It wasn't her body that was sick, it was her spirit that was wilting. We started with the smallest steps. She walked for just 5 minutes a day. She wrote 1 letter each week to an old friend. She opened her curtains every morning to greet the sunlight. Within just 3 months, Mrs. Sato transformed. She smiled more, she slept deeply. She came back to life. No expensive treatments, no miracle pills. Just by restoring the small, forgotten rhythms of living. A shocking truth you must know, according to a 10-year study from Stanford University, 2022. Seniors who lose their sense of daily purpose after 75 are 2.7 times more likely to die within the next 5 years compared to those who maintain meaningful routines. You see, life is not just about the heart beating. Life is about having a reason for the heart to keep beating. If you are caring for elderly parents, or you yourself are entering your 60s, 70s, please don't just ask, "Are you feeling okay?" Also ask, "What made you feel alive today?" That question could be the difference between surviving and truly living. What we will explore next: the 5 silent reasons why people fade after 80. 1. Loss of microsocial engagement. How tiny everyday interactions keep your brain and heart alive. 2. Overcautious inactivity. How being too safe quietly destroys your muscles and stability. 3. Disrupted circadian rhythms from artificial light. How light and darkness affect your immunity and longevity. 4. Emotional suppression from loss and isolation. How unspoken grief slowly poisons the body. 5. Gradual loss of daily purpose. Why waking up with intention keeps your spirit burning. A heartfelt message before we continue: old age itself is not frightening. What is truly frightening is feeling unnecessary while still alive. Let me walk with you, one gentle but firm step at a time, to help you and those you love not only survive beyond 80, but live those years as your brightest yet. Part 1. The Quiet Erosion, Loss of Microsocial Engagement. The fastest way to die after 80 isn't a heart attack. It's isolation, so subtle you might not even notice it happening. When we think about aging gracefully, we often picture big milestones, family gatherings, lifelong friendships, meaningful conversations, and those are important, but there's another kind of connection, one so small, so seemingly trivial, that we often overlook it entirely. Yet it holds incredible power over our spirit, our brain, even our body's will to live. It's what scientists call microsocial engagement. Tiny, everyday moments of human interaction. What is microsocial engagement? It's not about deep heart-to-heart talks or major celebrations. It's about the brief, passing moments that weave us into the living fabric of the world around us. Waving at the neighbor walking their dog. Chatting for 30 seconds with the cashier. Smiling and nodding at a stranger on your morning walk. Saying good morning to the mail carrier. These encounters are the heartbeat of everyday belonging. They stimulate the social circuits of the brain, reinforce identity, regulate the nervous system, and quietly remind the body, I am still part of life. Why these tiny interactions matter more than you think. Our brains are social organs. They evolved not to survive alone, but to thrive in connection, even the smallest ones. Each micro-interaction activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and repair system. Releases feel-good neurotransmitters like oxytocin and dopamine. Calms inflammatory responses, sharpens memory and attention. In simple terms, a quick hello at the grocery store isn't just polite. It's a tiny jolt of health, a signal that you still matter to the world. The silent decline after 80. Yet after 80, these micro-moments begin to disappear. Why mobility issues make daily outings harder. Hearing loss makes spontaneous conversations more stressful. Fear of falls keeps people indoors. The convenience of online shopping replaces trips to local stores. Little by little, the world shrinks, days grow quieter. And most heartbreakingly, people don't even realize it's happening. They think, I'm just simplifying my life. But in reality, they are unintentionally cutting off the very lifelines that keep their brains and hearts alive. A real story, Mr. Takahashi, 83 years old. I once treated a man named Mr. Takahashi. Sharp-minded, witty, and full of energy. Even at 81, he had a simple ritual. Every morning, he walked 10 minutes to a small bakery. He greeted the owner. He chatted briefly with the other regulars. Those 15 minutes gave his days a rhythm, a shape, a sense of belonging. But one winter, after slipping on an icy sidewalk, he became cautious. He stopped going out unless necessary. Online deliveries replaced bakery visits. Within 6 months, his memory became fuzzier. His mood darkened. He stopped initiating conversations even with family, not because his body had failed, but because the threads that tethered him to everyday life had quietly snapped. The science behind it. Studies from the University of Chicago 2021 show. Social isolation increases the risk of cognitive decline by up to 32%. Even perceived loneliness, feeling unseen or unneeded, triggers chronic inflammation, weakens the immune system, and accelerates biological aging. And microsocial engagement acts as a buffer against that erosion. It's not just friendships that protect you. It's the small daily reminders that you are still part of the living world. A simple truth: the body doesn't just need food and exercise to survive. It needs connection, even tiny ones, to stay alive in spirit. How to rebuild microsocial engagement even if you're over 80. If you've noticed your world getting quieter, your social calendar thinning out, don't wait for loneliness to catch up. Here's what you can start today. 1. Daily rituals of contact. Go to the same coffee shop every morning, even just to say hello. Visit the post office, the library, the local market, anywhere people are. 2. Smile and acknowledge strangers. Wave at the jogger passing by. Thank the bus driver. Compliment the cashier's smile. These moments count. They anchor you back into the stream of life. 3. Pick up the phone, spontaneously. Call an old friend, a distant cousin. Even a 2-minute chat rekindles human bonds. Point 4. Join a low-commitment group. Book clubs, walking groups, gardening meetups. No pressure to perform, just a chance to show up and be seen. Remember, when you engage with others, even briefly, you're telling your brain, stay alert, stay connected, stay alive. A heartfelt challenge, if you're still reading. I invite you to think of just one small social interaction you can create today. It doesn't have to be big, it just has to be real. Comment 1 below if you commit to trying, even just once, today. Because every smile you give, every greeting you share, every nod you offer, is a message to your body that life is still moving forward and you are part of it. Part 2. Overcautious inactivity. What kills vitality after 80 isn't accidents. It's sitting still for too long in fear. After a minor slip, many older adults start to walk less, avoid stairs, stop bending down to pick things up, and eventually sit longer each day. At first, it's reasonable caution, but slowly, it transforms into silent surrender. The human body is not a machine that stays efficient through rest. It's a living garden. It thrives on continuous movement. When you move less, muscles shrink. The nervous system loses coordination. Balance deteriorates and immunity weakens. Just 2 weeks of inactivity can reduce muscle strength by 10 to 15% in older adults. Source: Journal of Gerontology, 2021. Real story: Mr. Nakamura, 85 years old. Mr. Nakamura used to be an active man, walking to a nearby park every day. Until one day, he slipped in his garden. No broken bones, just a small scrape. Fearing a repeat, he decided to stop walking outdoors, avoid most physical activity, spend more time sitting and watching TV. Within just 6 months, he lost over 5 kilograms of muscle mass. His gait became unsteady. And most tragically, he lost his self-confidence. He didn't grow weak because of age. He grew weak because he sat still in fear. The truth you must remember: caution is wise, but living in fear quietly kills your body. We must manage risks using railings, non-slip shoes, a cane if needed, but never abandon movement. How to maintain safe movement: walk on flat, familiar routes every day. Do light core exercises for the abdomen and back. Practice standing up and sitting down from a chair every morning. Join gentle exercise classes for seniors. A small challenge: if today you notice yourself limiting movement out of fear, try at least 5 minutes of gentle activity. Walk around your home, rotate your wrists, do light leg kicks, anything to remind your body that you are still needed, still alive. Comment 2 if you commit to moving today. Part 3. Disrupted sleep cycles from irregular light exposure. It's not age that leaves you exhausted after 80. It's mistimed light silently scrambling your entire life rhythm. Inside our bodies is an invisible clock, known as the circadian rhythm. This clock dictates when you feel alert, when you need sleep, when your immune system regenerates, and when your brain repairs itself. After 80, this internal rhythm becomes incredibly fragile. Even small disruptions in natural light exposure can throw the whole system into chaos. The light problem in old age. Older adults go outside less, especially during colder months. They keep lights and TVs on through the evening, flooding their senses with artificial light. They nap during the day but struggle with insomnia at night. The result: natural melatonin production, the sleep hormone, is suppressed. The brain becomes confused about when to be awake and when to rest. The body enters a state of chronic fatigue and sluggishness. Source: Harvard Medical School Sleep Research, 2022. Real story: Mrs. Kyoko, 86 years old. Mrs. Kyoko used to be mentally sharp, but after a few months of going outside less, watching TV late into the night, sleeping heavily during the day, she began to forget her daily routine, feel constantly exhausted, lose her sense of day and night. Only after we instructed her to sit by the window each morning, turn off screens and lights 1 hour before bedtime. She gradually recovered within 2 weeks. No medication, just restoring natural light exposure. Why is light so crucial? Morning natural light stimulates the natural production of cortisol, promotes alertness, resets the body's daily biological clock. Evening darkness triggers melatonin release, promotes deep, restorative sleep. If artificial light dominates, circadian rhythms collapse, leading to weakened immunity, memory decline, and shortened lifespan. How to reset your natural rhythm. Step outside within the first hour after waking. If it's cold, sit near a large window to soak up natural light. Dim bright lights and minimize blue light exposure at least 1 hour before bedtime. A small challenge. Today, try. Get at least 10 minutes of morning outdoor light. Cut back on artificial light before bed. Your body will thank you with deeper sleep and a more energized tomorrow. Comment 3 below if you're willing to try today. Part 4. Emotional suppression from loss and isolation. It's not loss itself that kills you after 80. It's the silent burden of unspoken grief that slowly shuts down your heart. By the time we reach 80, each of us carries a heavy burden. The passing of a spouse, the absence of lifelong friends. Sometimes, even the unspeakable loss of a child. The outside world may offer polite condolences, smile with encouragement, but soon move on. Only a silent loneliness clings stubbornly to those who remain. The real problem, emotional suppression. Many elderly no longer complain, no longer cry openly, no longer share their sorrow. Not because they no longer feel pain, but because they have learned to bury their grief deep inside. And that is the most silent and dangerous disease. Scientifically proven consequences. Research from Harvard Medical School 2022 shows those who suppress emotions for prolonged periods have a 40% higher risk of depression, a 35% higher risk of immune dysfunction, a 50% higher risk of early cognitive decline. Unexpressed grief creates chronic tension in the nervous system, disrupts hormones, quietly erodes immune defenses. Real story, Mr. Hiroshi, 87 years old. Mr. Hiroshi lost his beloved wife after 62 years together. He didn't cry, didn't complain. He simply sat silently by the window, lost interest in meals, watched his joy in life slowly fade away. Within a year, he lost nearly 7 kilograms. His memory significantly declined. His immune system weakened rapidly, not because of disease, but because his heart was burdened with grief left unspoken. Why emotional venting matters. The heart needs to exhale sorrow, just as the body needs to exhale toxins. Unreleased emotions poison from within. Those who live well beyond 80 often have a trusted friend to confide in, a journal to pour thoughts into, a community group to belong to, a faith to lean on. How to safely vent emotions. Write down what you miss or regret. Call an old friend just to talk. Join a senior support group. Speak with a counselor or professional listener. A challenge from the heart. Today, take at least 5 minutes to write, call, or simply acknowledge the sadness inside you. Don't let buried grief silently steal your precious years. Comment 4 if you are willing to open your heart today. Part 5. Gradual loss of daily purpose. It's not disease that drains your life force after 80. It's waking up without a reason to get out of bed. After 80, what often kills a person isn't cancer, a stroke, or heart disease. It's the gradual erosion of daily purpose. No more reasons to rise in the morning. No more excitement in dressing up. No more people or tasks to look forward to. And day by day, the flame of vitality fades away, quietly, invisibly. Purpose doesn't need to be grand. Daily purpose doesn't have to be world-changing. It can be as simple as watering balcony plants, feeding the neighborhood cat every morning, writing a letter to a distant grandchild, fixing a squeaky garden gate. Scientifically proven consequences. Research from University College London 2021 shows Seniors with a clear sense of daily purpose have a 37% lower risk of early mortality, are 33% more likely to recover from major illnesses, maintain better memory and mental health compared to those without purpose. Purpose doesn't just uplift the spirit. It keeps the body functioning and repairing itself day by day. Real story, Mrs. Machiko, 89 years old. Mrs. Machiko didn't have a big family or a large fortune. But every morning, she woke up to tend to small flower pots by her window, called an old friend every Tuesday, joined a community singing class every Sunday. Nothing dramatic, but these small routines gave her a reason to get up, kept her heart beating steadily, lit up her eyes each and every day. How the body reacts to no purpose. Decreased appetite, slowed movement, stagnant immune response, sluggish brain function. Not because the body is broken, but because it no longer sees a reason to keep running. How to reignite daily purpose. Set a tiny morning ritual: watering plants, clearing a table, walking 10 minutes. Maintain a simple weekly rhythm: calls, letters, volunteer work. Join a small group choir, painting class, gentle yoga. A challenge for today: ask yourself, tomorrow, what reason will I have to wake up? If your answer is vague, create a small, joyful reason, even if it's just for yourself. Comment 5 below if you're willing to start today. Final summary: the journey is not just to live long, but to live deeply. Do you remember, today, we walked together through the 5 silent enemies that most elderly people fail to notice. Loss of microsocial engagement, overcautious inactivity, disrupted biological light cycles, emotional suppression from loss, gradual erosion of daily purpose. Those seemingly small things are in fact the invisible threads slowly tightening around life itself, day after day. No one wakes up one morning and suddenly feels old. We are worn down quietly, like stones being eroded by the softest rains of time. But, and here lies the most important truth, we can also rebuild, little by little. A picture to remember: every small conversation, every gentle step, every morning sunlight, every tear released, every meaningful daily action ... is a watering of the garden of your longevity. You don't need to change the world. You just need to keep your inner garden from drying up. Dear friend, life beyond 80 is not a conclusion. If you know how, it can be the most radiant chapter, where you live each moment fully, love each breath deeply, and leave behind a quiet but eternal legacy. I, Dr. Hoshino Daisuke, bid you farewell today, with full faith that you can not only live longer, but live deeper, more joyfully, starting today. I look forward to seeing you again on the next journey, where together we will learn how to cherish every final heartbeat of this precious life.